Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Facebook Live about small businesses. So I'm going to start by introducing myself and our project a little bit. So this Facebook Live is being put on by Smart Tips, which is a video series. And basically, Smart Tips is when it's going to be complete, it will be 15 videos for newcomers. At this moment, it is 10 videos published. And there's another 5 on the way that we are currently making. So the videos they're stories, they're situational, and they also include a settlement platform, like a website that has additional newcomer resources and information that helps you with each topic. So today we're actually going to be talking about how to start a small business, which I know is a very interesting topic. And I'm really excited to share it with you. So first, we're going to show the video. And then we're going to I'll introduce my guest and we'll start talking a little bit about the video. And then he'll give a presentation about how to start a business in Alberta. The videos are translated. I'll be playing the English one today, but they are translated into Arabic, Chinese, French, Hindi, Spanish, Tigrinya, and Farsi as well, which is awesome. So if you speak one of those languages, there is a video that has subtitles for you. The questions, I'm assuming some of you may have questions about starting your own business, and we will try to answer them as best we can. If they're very specific, at the end of the presentation, I will give the contact information of our guest and you can contact them directly and they can help you. Anyway, so let's get started. I'm gonna play the video for you now from our project. So here is the video. I'm gonna play it now and then we'll talk about it.
Hey, Tina, this smells amazing. What is it?
Chicken biryani. Oh. I made it last night. Here, try some.
Thanks. This is delicious.
Thank you. I love cooking. I have friends who have even asked me to make a food for their parties.
That's great. Have you ever thought about opening your own restaurant?
I have. My family actually owned a restaurant back home. Since we moved here last year, I have been wanting to start my own business. It's just so much work. I don't know what to do.
I suggest that you start by asking your friends and family for their honest feedback about your products. Find out what works and what doesn't.
Good idea. It would help me to understand what people like and help me to improve my recipe.
Actually, I did that before opening my coffee shop last year. It helped me a lot. Researching and networking are really important. If you want, come by my cafe next week and we can go over your business plan.
That would be great. I will do some research and bring my business plan to show you. Maybe this time next year, I can open up a business too.
And when you do, I'll be the first in line to try your food.
Researching is key to the success of starting a small business. Here are some tips to help you with the process. Research your target industry and identify gaps in the market. Don't just follow current trends. Explore new ideas. Grow your network, both inside and outside your ethnic community. Step outside of your comfort zone and meet people who are different from you. Identify your target customers and their unmet needs. Conduct surveys with new contacts and potential customers. Find the unique selling point of your product or service. Review your research and identify what makes your product special.
Hi, Ria. Hey, Tina. Welcome to Ria's Cafe and Bakery. So, what do you think?
Wow, this location is great. And the name is perfect, simple, and easy to remember.
Thanks. So, first piece of advice, when you register your business, check to make sure that no other business has the same name as yours.
That's a good idea.
Why don't we just grab a seat and have a chat? How's your business plan coming along? It's very important to have a good business plan. It's like a roadmap guiding your decisions and goals.
I did some research on the current market and competitors. Here is my business overview, a basic financial plan, and some details of what I will sell.
This is great. Don't forget, you need to include a good marketing plan in here as well.
That's a good idea. I will add that in. Once I am done, I will take it with my business advisor to talk about financing.
This is so exciting. I can't wait to hear how it goes. It's getting late. Let's grab something to eat. This time, it's my treat.
After you've researched your business, developed a business plan, and explored financing options, here are some registration processes required to start a business in Alberta. Choose a legal structure that suits your business needs. Different structures will impact your taxation and legal liability. Register your business at an authorized provincial registry. Apply for any permits and licenses your business may need. These will be at the municipal, provincial, and federal levels. If your business meets requirements, obtain a business number from Canada Revenue Agency for tax reporting. It may be helpful to seek professional legal or financial advice. Starting a business in Alberta is an investment in a bright tomorrow.
Okay, so yeah, that is our smart tip video. I'm going to introduce our guest now because I'm pretty excited. He is very accomplished. So our guest today is Jean-Jacques of Business Link. He's going to introduce Business Link a little bit in his presentation, but I'm going to give him a little introduction right now. So Jean-Jacques currently works for Business Link as coordinator of the Immigrant Entrepreneur Program, IEP, and small business strategist. He brings to Business Link team a wide array of expertise in for-profit business, nonprofit charity, social enterprise, and immigrant entrepreneurship. He has been helping clients of all backgrounds and cultures start and grow businesses since 2008. I'm going to call him JJ from now on, but JJ is also a successful entrepreneur. In addition to being an Alberta Marriage Commissioner, he is also a freelance translator, certified community interpreter, coach and mentor, and a successful consultant. He is the proud owner of the Profit and Impact Builders Canada, Inc., under which he operates JJ Consulting and Translation Services, Weddings and Events by JJ, and JJ Life Esteem Coaching. JJ is also a networking geeky nerd, a volunteer enthusiastic, and a community builder. His dedication and commitment to empowering local and international communities have been acknowledged by Rotary Foundation of the Rotary International that named him a Paul Harris Fellow in appreciation of tangible and significant assistance given for the furtherance of better understanding and friendly relations among people of the world. He has also been named the Canadian African Community Man of the Year 2015 by Diversity Magazine Alberta. So welcome, JJ, or Jean-Jacques.
Thank you so very much, Becca. Thank you for having me today.
That is quite a bio. You've accomplished a lot of stuff.
I'm still learning.
You're still learning, aren't we all? That's a good way to think about it. So can you tell us, what do you think about the video, and what did Business Link do to help immigrant services make this video?
Actually, I think they presented what I had to say. I don't have anything to say to add, definitely. No, it's definitely amazing, actually. So as I would definitely tell it during my presentation when I speak about Business Link, it's exactly what they said. If you want to start a business, actually, in the presentation, I will be talking about different options to become a self-employed or entrepreneurs. They touch base on one option because the people have options.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just one option. Yeah.
Exactly.
The videos are only 5 to 7 minutes, so it's a lot to cram in there. But so I think your presentation is really going to help if anyone has any questions about different kinds of businesses they want to start and know what their options are. Definitely. Yeah. So let's get started on your presentation. So we'll get
Perfect. Let me share my slides here. Perfect. So thank you again, Rebecca, for having me today. It's always a pleasure to engage newcomers and immigrants. I've been there, as you said. Actually, I'm one of the trusted advisors working for Business Link, helping people start and grow businesses. But most of us, actually, including myself, we are also entrepreneurs, and that makes a huge difference, because you could be the best advisor ever. However, there's always something missing if you are unable to put yourself in the shoes of your client. Being an entrepreneur actually allows us to go through what our clients go through every day, where they are thinking about a viable business idea, filling out the paperwork, everything. And then we learn by advising people. We also learn. So we are definitely happy to advise entrepreneurs. So before I discuss about starting a business, let me talk a little bit about Business Link, the organization, the amazing organization I work for. Business Link is the Alberta's entrepreneurial hub. It's a nonprofit helping Alberta entrepreneurs start their own businesses since 1996. So Business Link receives money. It's funded by both provincial and federal governments. And also we provide free services. Most of our services are free. So since we started back in 1996, we've been helping people from all backgrounds and cultures start and grow businesses. However, we acknowledge that some categories of people are underserved and have specific challenges in addition to the challenges all entrepreneurs actually share. So I can definitely tell with confidence, as an entrepreneur and trusted advisor, entrepreneurship is hard for everyone. It doesn't matter if you are an immigrant or not. It's difficult to make a living from entrepreneurship. However, it's even harder for immigrants because you come from a different country, Alberta business cultures, regulations, all those things. So that's where Business Link comes in to help you navigate through all those new things. So regulations, startup steps, all those things. So myself and my colleagues, actually, the team of trusted advisors, the team of advisors, we help people, advise them one-on-one. Outside COVID-19, we can even meet in person. By now, it's virtual, through emails or phone and things like that. Because right now it's a group session, but when it comes to your specific questions for privacy and confidentiality, it's one-on-one. And we also have another amazing team specializing in market research. So they mentioned the business plan in the video. So when you are working on a business plan, you will definitely need to understand your market, your target market. Our team will definitely provide you with information to help you understand your market, statistics, demographics, all those actually, data. So we also provide trainings like these ones, live webinars, workshops, networking opportunities, and monthly networking events, especially outside the COVID-19. So as I mentioned earlier, the video mentioned actually one option to become an entrepreneur, starting a new business from scratch. But really, becoming an entrepreneur, sometimes you will definitely hear people talking about, self-employed versus employee, or self-employed versus entrepreneurs. So basically, the easiest way to become an entrepreneur, it's just to become a one-man operation, a self-employed. You have expertise and knowledge in IT, information technology. You are one-man operation, and then you do some cleaning. You can do construction, those things. You can definitely contract with a company and be a self-employed. And then it can be confusing actually to understand the difference between being an entrepreneur and self-employed. Why? Because even most entrepreneurs actually start as one-man operation, but then the vision will differentiate those entrepreneurs from self-employed. Because self-employed, most of the time, the vision is just to create something for themselves, without necessarily the vision of growing or hiring team members. But when you are an entrepreneur, sometimes because of tight budget, you start alone. And however, the vision, the idea is to grow your business and then hire staff, grow your business. So when now becoming a self-employed or entrepreneur, one-man operation is one of the options of starting from scratch. That's where we definitely will be talking about today. Most of the time we'll be talking about starting a business from scratch. However, let's discuss about the two options, also the other option to become an entrepreneur. Instead of starting from scratch, you can buy an existing business, or you can buy a franchise. When you see Tim Hortons, McDonald's, Subway, most of those coffee shops, Second Cup, those are all those people you see who are operating those brands. They are not necessarily entrepreneurs, owners. They don't own. You buy the right to use, actually to operate an existing brand, and then in return, you pay actually a fee at the beginning, and then you continue to pay a fee every month based on the sales, based on the agreement you sign with Tim Hortons or McDonald's. Now, the main difference between buying an existing business or starting from scratch and buying a franchise is that buying a franchise doesn't make you the owner. You have less control. Because the owner, that's why I like to give an example. Actually, if you close your eyes and you fly to Europe or to US and you land in a McDonald's, you won't see the difference. You would think you are still in Canada. It's exactly the same. They won't let you change anything because they have control over the brand. So of course, buying actually it's less risky. Why? Because they help you, the money you pay, it will include actually the support in marketing, hiring, training, all the things, and then it's less risky. So buying an existing business also may be also less risky. Why? Because instead of starting from scratch and going through all the things, you buy an existing brand, but unlike a franchise, you own it. By paying the money, you own it, and then most of the time it's an established brand with good reputation, with established suppliers, with everything is established. That's why probably you avoid to start from scratch and buy an existing one, so you can make money right away. So as I mentioned, actually today, we'll definitely be talking about starting a business from scratch. So it starts, of course, having a viable business idea. I like to say, entrepreneurship is not a science at all. It's not science. That's why we don't have a unique definition, around the world. However, entrepreneurs have a few things they share, regardless where they are. If you are an entrepreneur from Japan, from Africa, from China, from wherever you are in the world, you have to come up with a viable business idea. Why? Because some people have a hobby and then they believe it's a business. It's not. It's a viable business idea if it allows you to make a living from, to invest money, break even, which means return on your investment, and then make profit so you can make a living, cover the cost and make a living. Otherwise, it's not actually a viable business idea. Entrepreneurs, wherever they are in the world, they have an idea, they believe it's viable, and therefore it allows them to sell something, and that something must be a product or service. You will never find an entrepreneur who doesn't sell something. And selling that something, actually that product or service, it means that someone else is willing to buy it. And actually when they buy it, they give you money, you cover the cost, and then at a certain point you make a profit. So entrepreneurs, wherever they are, they have to have that product or service, and they have to have people who are willing to buy that thing. So once you have that viable business idea, next step will be to register the business, to find name, of course. So when we say a name, I would definitely discuss it when I discuss about the business structures. There's also a possibility to start a numbered company, not a name, but by all means it will be a kind of name as well. So, and then you choose a business location. Every business must have a location. It may be online, it may be offline, but it's a location actually. And the location is huge. It's key in terms of actually to success. Having a good location, it definitely have a big impact on success. So of course, in the video, they mentioned the license. License is the permission to actually to protect people, to protect our business owners, to protect the community, because otherwise that will be they actually, the different levels of government, they have to protect the entrepreneurs by getting some regulations. So entrepreneurs have to follow them. So get a business license, apply for a business number. We definitely discuss in details about this. So business structures, as the video mentioned, actually, the business structure has a significant impact on the business name protection, on the taxation, on liability, and also on how you can get paid. As I will discuss it actually when I discuss different business structures, if you start a basic legal structure, sole proprietorship, you don't have to open a bank account. You can use your own personal account, even though I advise my clients to open a bank account for your business. However, you can definitely use, by all means, use your own account, which is not the case if you start a corporation. We discuss this later on. So business structures here, actually, these are different business structures. So the very basic way to start a business, actually, the very basic business structure, it is what we call a sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship is an individual who, sole proprietor is an individual who start a business by themselves. They actually have, their businesses are one, no legal separation, and therefore they will definitely enjoy any reward, any profit if they make it. They will be responsible of all liabilities. So the business name is not protected. It's very, very easy. You just find a name, you go to any Alberta registry where you go for a driving license, and you fill out the a one-page form, the declaration of trade name, and then you pay a maximum of $75, you have a business. However, as I mentioned, unlimited liability, you put at risk your own, actually yourself. If the business actually is sued, you are 100% sued yourself. If your business actually filed for bankruptcy, you definitely go with it as well. So the partnership, which is the other business structure, it's even worse. Why? Because it's like if you put many sole proprietors together, it's two or more people who get together to start a business, and therefore each of them, like in a sole proprietorship, they have unlimited liability. However, what makes it even worse is just because each partner, they become responsible of mistakes made by the other partners, even if you don't know. The other day, actually, I have clients. One of them, they decide to buy a truck. One of them in managing the business. The other one is actually driving the truck, driving across Alberta. But then one of them decided to go in the business account they joined, and then they withdraw the money without the other one knowing. The problem though is the bank, if the person who withdrew the money is unable to reimburse, the bank will be in a position to sue the person who is in a position to reimburse. And sometimes it's not the one. They will say, they sued the driver. They say, no, you have to pay. The other one is not able, you sue them. Now, this is, it's easy to start like a sole proprietorship. And it's even easier because 2 or more people put together resources, which make it easier than one person in a sole proprietorship. However, if you go this route, make sure you have a partnership agreement. You never know. You cover your back. It's true that you can't actually prevent conflicts or those things 100%. However, you anticipate, have a lawyer draft a partnership agreement that will definitely protect you. And then the third option is a corporation. Whenever you see a legal element at the end of a business name, LTD, Limited, Inc., Incorporated, or corporation, you know it is a legal separate entity, a corporation. Some people call it a limited company, corporation, incorporation. They are all the same. This means it's a legal separate entity. You own that entity, but you don't own its assets. It's independent enough to sue or to be sued, to own its assets. That's why it protects you as a shareholder. Instead of partners or own, we call them shareholders. This can, while actually sole proprietorship and partnership can't survive the absence of the owners, a corporation, because it comes with shares, it can survive the owner. You can wake up one day, feel tired to do business, and then you can decide to sell your business, for example. You can grow your business, and then at some point you need more money that you can't raise yourself. You can sell part of the business, shares, and raise capital to actually grow your business. And unlike a sole partnership, its business name is protected. And tax rate is way competitive than the other business structure, as I mentioned before. So if you are looking at starting a business, by all means, come talk to me or talk to one of my colleagues. We definitely help you. We'll be happy to help you go understand. So now these structures, they are for-profit structures. To the left, you can see in orange, the other structure, those are social structures. We have a society, we have nonprofit, we have co-ops. We also have social enterprise. People who, it's amazing to see how people are different. Actually, some people are not driven by, the profit. They want to make the world we live in a better place. They want to empower communities, and instead of starting a for-profit business, they start a society or non-profit. So this is a little bit confusing because it's in Alberta. We have 2 different acts, but really they are both non-profit. And then co-op, this structure you see here, unlike for-profit, when you have the power of decision, them it's a collective decision making. You have a board of directors, you have members, and then they sit down together, and then they vote. They definitely decide together. If they disagree, they have to vote. Any question, don't hesitate to stop me if you have any questions.
There is one question. I'll read it to you. So I think what they're trying to say is owning a franchise easy? Like, it's easy to start owning a franchise?
Well, it depends. It depends because, it's amazing because as time goes, it becomes even more difficult to find a franchise depending where you are. So if, for example, you want to buy, let's say, a McDonald's or Tim Hortons in Calgary or in Edmonton, sometimes you can wait for even 2 years or even more, unless you find someone who's selling the franchise. So now I don't necessarily know what you mean by easy. You know, if you have money, it's easy as long as you find an opportunity, right? Or as long as you go actually in a community, maybe rural community where they have opportunities. Otherwise, it's easy. However, I would say real entrepreneurs don't buy, you know, they can definitely buy temporary franchises, but because you don't make decisions, you are very limited. The franchisors, actually the owners, they don't let you decide. They have control over the brand and they make all major decisions. Real entrepreneurs, they have adrenaline, they are, you know, they take a risk and then they want to make decisions and live with the consequences, which should be to lose money or to make money. If you buy, you know, especially for immigrants or newcomers and immigrants, finding a franchise may be a good start because it's less risky. And then you can definitely learn about the, you know, the business, the entrepreneurship ecosystem. And then once you are very familiar or confident, you can definitely start your own if you wish, or you can even make money because franchisors actually, they don't necessarily like risk. That's why if you are successful with one franchise, they will give you more opportunities. That's why we see people who own multiple Tim Hortons, because they see that you are successful. Instead of taking a risk and then giving a franchise to someone new, they prefer to give to that person who is established. Make sense? So it can be, yeah.
From what I know, franchises are also just like, some of them are ridiculously expensive. So unless you have the capital to do that, so like I think Tim Hortons is something over $1 million or something.
That's a good point. I like to tell people, go grab a coffee or grab, you know, something to eat and count, you know, how much time you spend on lining up. More time you spend there, very likely it will be more expensive. Because keep in mind, they guarantee you client, it's an established brand. So, and then it's very expensive. I believe actually it's not only it's expensive, but they require you to have a certain, you know, net worth. If you are, you mentioned actually Tim Hortons, I believe McDonald's would definitely be close as well. If you are, if they require you $1 million, you have to have at least 50% in cash net worth.
Wow.
And then you can borrow.
So you can just like liquid money. You gotta have liquid money.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that is an option, but like only for people that have that kind of money, just cash around kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Any other question?
Not right now. I'll definitely stop you if we get any more.
Perfect. So now, once you actually, we discussed about the, you know, having a viable business idea, you know, deciding about the business structure, it's extremely important to make sure that you understand these different business structures. You're not expected to know everything because we are here to help you. And because ourselves, actually, we are not allowed to provide legal advice. At a certain point, we may connect you with trusted legal advisors. Make sure you understand. And once you understand, choose with confidence. And then you can definitely go to any, because registration process, we depend on the business structure. As I mentioned before, if you choose the basic structure, sole proprietorship or partnership, it's easy. You just go to any registry, you fill out a one-page paper, actually a form, you have a business. So if it's a corporation, it's more expensive and more complicated to start. You go to, you reserve the name first because it's protected, nuance report. And then after nuance report, you fill out the paperwork, which is more difficult actually. And then even the cost is higher than the incorporation fee is higher than the actually the other business structures. So then a corporation can be incorporated provincially or federally. If you choose to incorporate provincially, that means that your business name will be protected across Alberta only, in Alberta. That name can be used outside of Alberta. So if you do it federally, the nuance report or name search, it will be done across Canada, and then therefore it will be protected across Canada. If someone from Northwest Territories wants to use your name, they go into the system and then see that someone from Edmonton is using that federal name, and then they say, unfortunately, this name is not available. However,
we have a few questions. Can I interrupt you?
Yeah, sure.
So I'll just ask the questions that are about business licensing, and then the other questions that people asked, I'll ask at the end because they're a bit different. Is a business license and registering your business two different things? Or do you receive a business license when you register your business?
That's a good point. Basically, as you can see, I'm going to speak about business licensing and regulations.
So
And then,
you're going to talk about this question?
Yeah, definitely, because we just discussed about registration. Registration, because you license something that exists. Before you register a business, you can't license it because it doesn't exist, right? So the registration process consists, even the departments in charge are different. Registration is done to Alberta Registry, where you go for driving license. Business license is done at government departments, municipal, provincial, federal, and some private bodies as well. Keep in mind.
So they're separate. They have.
Yeah, they are separated, definitely.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So once you have a registered business, you have a name. So when you register a business, actually a sole proprietorship, partnership, or corporation, the business is off ground. You are a business owner. But then you may not have the right, depending on the type of business, because business licenses and regulations, they depend on type of business. My consulting, for example, as a marriage commissioner, I just need to find couples to marry. As long as you bring me your better half, I will definitely marry you. I'm not required to have a license, right? But most of businesses, for example, food or daycare or any business that put people at risk, that may put people at risk, the government, different department actual or government level of governments, they want to make sure that they protect, they put in place the regulations so the community can be protected.
So like this leads into the next question that I think you already answered, but can we start a small business in a home kitchen after registering? So your answer is no, right? They have to get licensed.
Basically, again, it depends on the type of business. When food, it's a little bit like actually, daycares or things like that. You put the kids at risk. You want to make sure, the government want to make sure that those kids are protected. The government want to make sure that people who eat that food are safe, right? That's why, starting a food business at your home, from your home, it could be very risky. That's why Alberta Health Services, they will definitely send inspectors to make sure that your kitchen complies with regulations, right? And then they may say, no, necessarily, no, Papa, you're not allowed to to have a kitchen at your home. Because some businesses actually, depending if may require commercial kitchens, right? So yeah, definitely food business require provincial licenses in addition to municipal. And then it depends also, are you going to welcome clients, to provide, seating places, people can come and sit and eat. In this case, you will also, the fire departments will be involved. They will want to determine how many people are allowed to actually to sit there, right? So licenses, the regulations are definitely required. And again, don't be lost. Talk to us. We'll definitely be happy to help you.
Sounds good. Thanks. I'll keep the rest of the questions till the end.
Perfect.
After this.
So as actually said, regulations, business license regulations are set by governments for protection of the public, environment, and business owners. They are mandatory. If you don't comply with them, you may be fined or you may be sued as well. They can be from all level of government, municipal, provincial, federal, and sometimes also private. For example, if you want to start any automotive business related, you want to sell tires or you repair cars, there's ANVIC. There's a private body that, in addition to all of this, that makes sure that you follow specific regulations to make sure that actually safe to run that business actually. So municipal regulation is the basic one. Whenever you start a business, identify the municipal government, give them a call or visit their website. The very basic license will be a home-based business. So in Calgary and Edmonton and Calgary, we have a minor versus major permit and license in Edmonton. And in Calgary, they call class 1 and class 2. So that was the very first minor or class 1. It's a business that you operate from home, like mine. So when I find a couple to marry, I go find them outside of my home. I don't welcome. I'm allowed to welcome one client at my home every single day. I'm not allowed to welcome more than one client. I'm talking about outside of COVID-19, of course. But if you start a business that requires you to welcome clients, more than one client, or to hire someone from outside of your household, you need a major license, home-based license, or class 2. Then you have to contact the city, and then they will definitely conduct a kind of investigation in your community to make sure that your neighbors are okay. It's okay first to see if your home is located in a zone which is allowed to conduct business. And then they will definitely make sure that, it's allowed. Let's say they even grant you the license, and then after a week or month or year, people complain about, about noise, about, parking issues. They can take away actually the license as well, because they keep in mind that they want to protect actually the community as well. So business licensing requirements vary from city to city. Example, land using zone, parking, development construction permits, fire and security alarm permits, signage permits, business licenses. Make sure you do your due diligence. Do research to make sure that you have all the required licenses. Otherwise, you would be actually in trouble. So provincial regulations. Some provincial regulated areas are food. I mentioned food. Food is very regulated because, again, food could put people at risk. They want to make sure that it's well prepared. Whenever you go, buy something to drink or eat, look at actually on the wall where you can see. You will see a small postcard. You have to, whoever sells actually food or beverage, they want to have that thing, the food handling permit. That is the basic actually license permit that allows people to handle food, the food handling permit by Alberta Health Services.
Actually, I have a question related to that.
Sure.
It says that there's an exception. Someone's asking, so on the topic of home businesses, am I correct in thinking that a low-risk home food business does not need a permit?
I don't think so. Because whenever you sell food, it could be put people at risk. It doesn't matter what it is.
So you always need a permit. There's no exception.
The only thing is, depending, it's all about how you prepare the food. Because if that food need kitchen, then you have to have actually the green light from Alberta Health Services, the inspectors. They have to make sure that that kitchen first, you are allowed to prepare the food actually at your home. By all means, to protect yourself, don't assume that you don't require a license. Talk to the municipal department, identify the provincial government, actually the department, and talk to them. And sometimes you speak to someone, they are new, they don't know. If you feel that they are not actually understanding, ask to talk to a senior, actually someone. It's extremely important.
Because they're saying that the person replied and they said that it's on the Alberta government website. So this was read on the Alberta website. Apparently it was implemented in July 2020.
What is it? Can you ask them what type of food is it? It is?
Yeah, what kind of food? So Claudia? What kind of food are you talking about specifically? Because if we start to get a bit too specific, then we'll just
exactly. Yes.
send you Jean-Jacques' information, and you can feel free to reach.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. By all means, make sure, because you won't tell people that you read something on the government website. Talk to someone and confirm.
I don't think they'll care as they're giving you a ticket, right? So yeah, definitely good to be safe. So yeah, if it's more specific, then we'll just send you Jean-Jacques' information and you can contact him.
Definitely. Yeah. Federal regulations, some federal regulated areas are product for mass consumption, consumer goods, example, Health Canada, Canada Border Services Agency. So, regardless of the type, all businesses actually, the startup steps are very similar. You definitely come up with an idea. You go through the startup steps we mentioned, business structures. But then the type of business will definitely determine the licensing, the regulations. If you are going to do international business, to buy or sell outside of Canada, then the Canada Border Services Agency comes in. Because they are the customs, they are in charge in regulating everything that goes out of Canada or come in to make sure, again, that the community is protected. So the basic permit for international business, it's an import-export account, which is the last actually program under business number. So we have the GST account that most of people know because we pay 5% in Alberta. Whenever we buy something, we have a payroll account for corporations that hire people. They want to do payroll deductions, Canada Pension Plan, employment insurance. They have to have a payroll account in order to do that, which is the second account under business number. The third one is required for all incorporated businesses. It's the corporate income tax account, which allows corporations to pay the provincial and federal taxes. And then the last one is the import-export account, which allows businesses to buy or to sell outside of Canada. So this is federal, it's by Canada Revenue Agency, because the Canada Border Services Agency is under the CRA, Canada Revenue Agency. And we have also Canada Food Inspection Agency. Again, you can see food is very regulated, not only municipally, but provincially, also federally. So, and then we discuss business number. So generally speaking, before February 2020, all businesses were not required a business number. But since actually starting February 2020, the provincial government of Alberta and the Canada Revenue Agency signed an agreement. Now, whenever you open a new business, you get it registered, Register Alberta, they will definitely help you apply for a business number. All businesses must have a business number now. The only difference than before, you have to decide which business account you need, GST, payroll, corporate tax account, or import-export account. However, every business, regardless of the business structure, they have to have the business number, and I will tell you what it is about. So the business number, as you can see, GST, payroll, business import, export, corporate income tax. These are the accounts I was talking about. But the business number in middle actually itself, it's a unique 9-digit, which is a kind of ID that Canada Revenue Agency uses to identify each business for tax purposes. Now you have to determine which of these accounts you need. GST, you have to have a GST account if your business make over 30,000 a year. Sometimes it's new, you don't know, but you can definitely apply voluntarily. And in return, CRA will allow you to claim GSTs you pay. When you buy anything you buy for your business, you will be able to get it actually from Canada Revenue Agency. And the payroll, you do payroll deductions, Canada Pension Plan, employment insurance, all those things. So import-export is for international business, and the corporate income tax is for all incorporated businesses. So how to get a business number? You can definitely do it on, as I mentioned, actually the business number itself, the 9-digit, you get it at registry whenever you register your business. For those accounts, if you know them, I believe you can definitely talk to the registry, or you can definitely call CRA at this number 1-800-959-5525, or you can also apply as long as you have a proof of registration. You can apply through the website, or you can also send a paper application by mail or by fax as well. So business taxes, as I mentioned before, it depends on the business structure. Sole proprietorships are highly taxed. Why? Because the sole proprietor, the owner, and the business are one, no legal separation. The business actually income will add up to any other source of income you make. Higher the income is, higher will be the tax rate. Because it's progressive base, actually, it increases as your income increases. So partnerships are the only the structures that don't pay tax. Partnerships don't pay tax. Why? Because you have two or more people who get together, and then at the end of fiscal year, they sit down, they share the profit or whatever the loss is, and each of them becomes like a sole proprietor. They end with their share, and they do their own tax return. So corporations, as legal separate entity, they do their own tax return, and the shareholders actually do their own return. Now, because the shareholders don't own the corporation's assets, including the bank account, by law, they have different ways to use the money from their business. They can hire themselves as employees and pay themselves a salary on market fair value. They can actually pay themselves a bonus, or they can wait the end of fiscal year and claim dividends or profit, or they can combine all the options. Now, keep in mind, they don't have interest to pay them more, because while the corporation will be in a position to claim that salary as a deduction, the money will become a personal income on the owner side, and the more money you make, higher will be the tax rate. While if you keep the money in the corporation, corporate tax rate will be high, very competitive. So any questions so far? So that's exactly what I'm able to say. It depends on the business structure. And so there are other considerations. So you're not expected to be a bookkeeper or an accountant. By all means, seek help. We are here to help. So we are not accountants. Have a certified bookkeeper, an accountant help you. Have legal advice if need be. So understand the marketing, because at the end of the day, if you start a business, no one knows about it, so no one will buy from you. Get the business name out there. Let people know about your business. Do the market research. Open a bank account. Bank accounts, business bank accounts are very expensive. They are different from personal accounts. Shop around. Don't just go to RBC because you do go with them. Talk to the advisor. Go to Scotia. Shop around and find out which one is more competitive, and go with the one you believe actually fits your needs. So there are different things, including WCB, insurance. Protect yourself, and if you have any specific questions, by all means, let us know. Talk to me. Go to businesslink.ca. From there, you can connect with me or one of my colleagues. You have a toll free, or seek advice. There are resources out there to help you. Don't feel lonely. And thank you so very much for your attention.
That was amazing. That was a lot of information crammed into like 30 minutes. So I guess I'll read the questions to you. I had a lot of questions too, but I'll read everyone else's first. What does it take to turn an incorporation into a not-for-profit?
That's a good point.
That a big question?
No, it's not feasible.
It's not feasible. Okay, you can't do
it. Basically, you can't actually switch a business structure. Even we're talking about two different business models. We're talking about for-profit, non-profit. The ownership is different. If you own a for-profit business, sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, it's your own. You have control over everything. If it's a non-profit, the simple definition of a non-profit is it's a structure which is owned by everyone and no one, because it's a community thing. You use money from donations, community money, grants, government, things like that. That's why starting a non-profit doesn't make you the owner. That's why you have to have board of directors, and you have to get the permission, the green light to do anything, because if you disagree, even if you start the non-profit, you have the option to accept or to leave. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so
that's really interesting.
basically, if you have a for-profit business and then you want to make it a non-profit, you can't do it directly. You can shut down the corporation, and then assuming that the corporation, your for-profit corporation, doesn't owe anything to anyone, you can then claim the remaining assets and donate them to the non-profit if you want. You start a new non-profit and you donate them to non-profit.
Can you go the other way?
But the opposite is no. The opposite you can't.
You can't go not profit to profit?
No, if you shut down the non-profit, you have first
no assets.
Because basically the non-profit, how it works, you have the founders or the people who come up with the idea and decide to start. You have a board of directors who actually give the strategic direction to the non-profit. And then beyond all of those, you have the annual general meeting. Annual membership, the members, they own the non-profit on the behalf of the community. So now, in the event the non-profit has to be actually shut down, the members actually have to meet and then vote a special resolution to shut down. Oh. And then the non-profit, as a legal separate entity, it will have to pay any debt they have. And if they don't, any remaining assets, it will be donated to another non-profit or a qualified donor. And that is even more complicated if the non-profit is registered as a charity to issue tax receipts, because in this case, the remaining assets can't be even donated to another non-profit which is not registered. It can't.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So that sounds, yeah, so they're separate. They're completely separate. The next question is, where is the best place to look for the list of existing businesses for sale?
Oh, there is no one place at all. However, you can definitely, there are some websites, but you can also hire a business broker, because there are brokers actually who specialize in selling businesses. So yeah, definitely those specific questions, send them my way. I can share some, some websites, but the best way would be to hire a business broker.
Sounds good. Okay. So I'm going to guess the answer is no, because you kind of answered this, but Tapas asks, do we go through the same registration, licensing, compliance policies for a not-for-profit versus profit-generating outfit?
Basically, registration process is different, because for profit businesses, you just go to any Alberta registry and then follow the steps based on the business structure. But for non-profit, registries can only help with the name search, nuance report, to reserve the name. Beyond this, everything else is done by Alberta Corporate Registry, which is actually the body that oversees the registries, Alberta registries.
Of corporations. So if you're getting a not-for-profit, it's a separate
non-profit, unlike for-profit, when you have those, private ownership, sole proprietorship, partner corporation, non-profits only have two options. You can run an unincorporated association, get a bunch of people together, support a cause without being incorporated. But in this case, you put all the people involved at risk because they are not protected. The other option, which is actually mostly used, it's incorporation, because non-profits can be incorporated provincially or federally. That way, they become independent entities that can sue or be sued, and therefore people who are involved are protected as well.
Okay. We have some really nuanced questions, so I'll ask them, but if you want the people to just reach out to you at your contact information, maybe that's good, because what is the amount of tax-free personal income someone can have? In the UK, your first 12,000 is tax-free and taxed on the rest of your income.
I'm going to move to UK, which I'm going. So yeah, unfortunately here there is no free. You know, as I mentioned,
No
it
tax-free.
depends. It depends on business structure. Basically, if, for example, you have an on-site business, on-site hustle actually, and then you make good money actually from a job, don't start a sole proprietorship or partnership, because the money will add up to your business income, to your personal income, and the more money you make, higher will be the tax rate. So, or if you start a business, start a corporation, because not only the income will be competitively taxed, especially you don't have to take money from the corporation unless you need it. Otherwise, you know, definitely there's no free lunch here at all.
There's no free lunch. Okay. Good to know. Okay. So you're getting a lot of comments that are like, JJ, you're so smart. Amazing. So knowledgeable. I will email you. So you're getting a lot of those comments. Just so you can see them.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Convey them. The other question is very nuanced. How about loss in the corporation? Then can you use that for next year against corporate income?
Yeah, definitely. Basically, that's a good point, because unless you drive a truck and then you have contracts, or you are self-employed and then you contract when you get paid every month, most of businesses actually, they don't make money the first years, because it takes you a few years to return on your investment, and that's okay, as long as you keep the receipts, other things. Yeah, by all means. But again, get professional advice from an accountant.
Sounds good. Yeah, because I was like, that's a very nuanced question. We don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'll ask a few of my questions, and then we'll see if any other ones come in, and then we can be done. But I had so many questions. Yeah, I thought maybe we could talk a little bit about COVID-19 and how it has changed business and entrepreneurs. Like, how has it changed it? What are some of the more struggles? Has it made it better for some people? Any thoughts about COVID-19 and how it's changed everything?
You know, I definitely like to say, we as individuals or even businesses, we don't have a choice. We have to adapt to change. Right. I didn't know that I would definitely be sitting in my basement, work from home. I'm a people person, definitely. I missed people, meeting people so much, right? And then I'm not the only one. We definitely have to adapt. And keep in mind, most of businesses before COVID-19, their business model were based on in-person actually transactions. And then from actually they had to shut down, they had to come up with different creative ideas to make sure, because people actually, we need to understand, people are forced to stay home. They are not going out, they can't come, but they still have the same needs, right? So you just need to come up with a creative idea to make sure that they can get what you sell without putting them at risk. That's how most of people moved from in-person to online virtual. You know, I as I mentioned, actually, most immigrants, including myself, I didn't like virtual that much. If I had an option in person, I would definitely have picked that one. By now, you know, you need to find a way to, to go online and then to deliver. And even when you deliver, actually, you don't even give in person. You just make sure that's safe, and then you ring the bell and then you leave at the door, right? And some other businesses, they actually coping actually depend on the type of business. Some of them changed 100% their business model. They changed the product. Actually, they started to make masks, others hand sanitizers, others to, all those things. However, one of the part of your question, as you can see, most of businesses shut down the doors, but stores, they didn't shut down their doors actually, because we continue to go to, even if other businesses are closed, we continue to go to shop, right?
Yeah.
Which means they still make money.
Yeah. They're one of the lucky ones, I guess. For example, like hairdressers or massage therapists.
Yeah.
There isn't much, like, you can't be innovative. There's no like making another service because you just weren't allowed to do haircuts. So,
Yeah,
so like you couldn't go to people's houses or anything. They were like, nope, nothing. So
that's a good point. But creativity goes beyond actually shifting from product to the another. Because if you have a hair salon, you can definitely have an online training to people how they can do it themselves. And provide training, say,
that's true. You could start doing training. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea. Anyone who's a hairdresser that was shut down for a while, try that. Post videos of you making haircuts.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know if we should encourage more people to cut their hair at home.
Do it yourself. You make a video, do it yourself. Things like those, right?
Exactly. Okay. Claudia promises this is her last question. I don't know if I believe you, Claudia. So she said, in England, you could be self-employed for 3 months without registering your business to see if it's for you or if the idea will work. Is it the same here?
Honestly, let me tell you something in Alberta. There's one way you don't have to register a business. If you start a business and you name it after your own names without adding anything, I call it Jacques Mitakaro. Without, I'm not actually required to register. But then it doesn't make sense, especially if you want to market your business, because if they see Jacques Mitakaro, they won't know what it is. Because a business name is a powerful and tangible asset. I like to give example to people. If you only give 2 options to those big corporations, McDonald's, Toyota, and say, guys, I take your name or I take everything else, what do you think they would say? If they only have 2 options. Because if they give me Toyota and then I take it back home in Africa, all the people will come to buy from all the Toyotas, they enjoy it. A business name is a huge tangible asset, untangible, if it's successful. That's why actually you can definitely operate a business without incorporating. However, you will be considered as a sole proprietor 100%, because not registering a business doesn't protect you from liability, for example. If something goes wrong, they will say, okay, because keep in mind, business is the way Canada Revenue Agency actually determines if it's a business or not. It's the income you bring in. So either you work for someone and then you get paid as an employee, or you make an income as a business. Now, if you don't register, however, Canada Revenue Agency, they actually see that it's a business income, then it's a business. Now,
taxes.
Exactly. However, you can definitely, to be honest with you, I even actually advise some people to do that. If you're not planning to make too much money, instead of incorporating and paying $2,500, you can just try it for 3 months or a few months and see how it goes. However, keep receipts, because you can claim it from Canada Revenue Agency, even if it's not registered.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
The next question is, I kind of had a question about this as well, because you talked about international business and like importing and exporting, but what about things that aren't tangible, like services and that kind of stuff? How do you even market that?
Do you mean if you provide a service actually outside of the Canada, for example?
Yeah, so if you like, say you, I don't know, did classes for people that were in Africa or something like that.
Yeah,
and you get paid from Africa technically, because the people in Africa are paying your salary.
Yeah, definitely. Basically, Canada Revenue Agency before, actually, I think it was a few years ago, the income actually made online was actually Canada Revenue Agency didn't know unless it was a huge amount. They actually contacted people. They say, now you have to let us know. It doesn't matter how much you make. It doesn't matter where you get the money from. Make sure you let us know you do a tax return, right?
Okay, so we have to do taxes on that.
Exactly, and then you tell, because keep in mind, Canada Revenue Agency, they are definitely reasonable. Okay, if you actually bring in income online from Canada or from outside of Canada, they will also allow you to deduct, actually to write off different expenses. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they even give you money back. Yeah, definitely, depending on the deductions you have, right?
Yeah. So this is kind of linked to this other question. So like a lot of people or companies, what they do is they have a headquarters in Canada,
Yeah.
and then they base their factories or whatever their company in another country. So the question is what is the legal status about starting a business here and basing the factory in some other country, but running the business legally legally here under in corporate business law?
Yeah, this is actually a good question for which you will definitely need legal advice, solid legal advice, because there's what we call non-Canadian privately owned corporations versus Canadian owned corporations, which have tax benefits. Because Canada, and especially in Alberta, it's one of the most competitive actually competitive tax rates, right? Now, if you become a non-resident or non-Canadian controlled corporation, which is controlled by foreign investors, then you may probably go through the Minister of Foreign Affairs and negotiate some incentives, because you will very likely lose the tax advantage. So that's why you need definitely advice from an accountant who have expertise in international, and you may also need legal advice from a lawyer who has actually expertise as well.
Okay.
But therefore, that would be a non-resident, international, things like those, right?
Okay, so it's a little, I think it depends on also the company probably and everything. So Claudia promised that was her last question, but then she wrote another one. So she said if she did that 3 months with her name, no registering, does she still need a license?
That's a good point, because not registering business doesn't prevent you from having a license, because keep in mind, you will be 100% liable. For example, it's like if you start a day home. Day homes, actually, as long as you don't have 6 kids or more, you can start. You can bring 5 kids at home by all means. You don't have to register at all. You can make, however, kids are very fragile. If anything happens, you won't say that you didn't register, because by law you're not required to register. However, you have to make sure you have a license. You have to make sure you have an insurance as well to cover your back. Right? If you definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I wrote down insurance and circled it at one point because I was like, it sounds like a lot of these, like if you are a sole proprietor or like a partnership, you should have good insurance.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just ask 2 more questions, and then we'll close this off. This is about GST.
Yes.
So if you have income outside of Canada, what about GST? And then building on that, can you not collect GST outside Canada when your income is from outside?
There's actually a few things I would like to mention here. Even within Canada, as you know, some of you may know, Alberta is one of the, I don't know, it may probably be the one that only doesn't have a provincial tax. We only have federal tax at GST. Now, charging tax is based on the residence of your client. If you are an Alberta-based actually business owner and you sell to someone who is based in Ontario or Quebec, you have to charge them both GST and the provincial tax, even if we don't have the provincial tax here. If you are an Alberta-based client, and it happens a lot, especially when you are in transit, going to the airport, actually Winnipeg or Quebec, you buy something, they charge you a provincial tax, you can call and get it back, right? So now for international businesses, see, actually the Canada Border Services Agency, especially if you are importing, they have a way actually that I think they have a way that they calculate this. Sometimes they may probably not charge you the GST because they know that you're taking all the products outside, right? However, if you are bringing stuff from outside, you're selling actually from outside, the idea is you charge a tax, because especially between businesses, businesses actually will definitely, it's okay to pay GST or whatever you want, because it's not them, they will get it back from CRA, right? But if you charge the GST and then they can't get it back, that may probably be a problem. This being said, Canada Revenue Agency agents are always open to help, to answer to these questions, because you need to get information firsthand from them. Otherwise, I always like to say, whatever I say today, it's not professional advice. You won't tell CRA that JJ told me this. Always talk to an accountant, talk to a lawyer, and talk to CRA as well.
Exactly. Yeah. JJ told me. So they have a video proof of it. Okay. I have one more question and then we'll close it out. So I wanted to know, what's the most interesting business someone brought to you that you were like, wow, that's a really interesting idea?
You know, there are, I would probably tend to say, technology based. Those I would, without any hesitation, those are kind of business ideas very similar to, I would say, to Uber Eats or Skip. Basically, you get people work for you. They use their own cars, they use their own equipment, and you make money from them. That's, there are people who come up with the ideas. At the end of the day, you can even actually go to a bank as long as you have a solid business plan. And then you show the bank how your business model will definitely help you make money. Because or what you do, you can definitely hire a call center just to dispatch and then make sure otherwise people we use their own cars. They do maintenance, they do everything, and then it's like a taxi. That's why taxi drivers were so mad after Uber. Yeah, definitely. I like the way to make money using logistics from others, actually.
Do you like business models that kind of think about like how people can use the stuff they already have? Basically?
Yeah, exactly. Very creative, actually, just come up with an creative idea. Mm-hmm. So it ends up, or another good example is that, do you know Airbnb? Airbnb, yep. Actually? Yep. Yeah, definitely. How good is this? You have a house, and then I convince you, you have 4 bedrooms. How many times do you use that one? You say, yeah, sure. And then I make I bring you someone, and then I take money from that. How good is this?
I know, like all of this, like I think like Uber, Airbnb, like all those services came out around the same time. There was kind of this like push of like technology companies that started realizing, wow, like you could just use your own stuff and rent it out. And I could just make a really expensive company to do that for you.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that other business ideas are not amazing. However, they are ideas that allow you to become billionaire without actually spending too much.
And yeah, you're not using any resources. You're using resources of other people.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just building a website. That's literally
or look actually at there's a business model that we call direct marketing. So Word Financial. There are other online platforms, medical stuff, vitamins. Instead of paying actually a huge amount to market your business, you hire people and you pay them on a commission. You tell them exactly, you say, okay, go build a business, and then more people you bring, more money you will make. You don't pay them.
Are those called multi-level marketing schemes?
Yeah, or direct marketing.
Yeah, I was like, some of those are scams. I think so.
They are
Be
not.
Careful, everyone.
Trust me, they are not. Because if you can definitely, if you are a networking geeky nerd, you can definitely build a community. And the good thing is, the person you bring in, the money they make, you have a part of it.
Yeah.
And if they bring someone else, exactly.
Because I had, there's a company that sells knives. And when I was young, like 18, I went to an interview and the interview was very vague. They didn't tell me anything. And at the end, they said, oh, you're going to be selling these knives, but you got to sell them to your family. And then you got to get other people to sell them. And like, but they're very famous for like targeting high school students and university students. But yeah, that's kind of a similar thing. Like you're getting people to go out and sell your product.
Exactly. And
Maybe it's brilliant. I don't know.
do you know Super Bowl or NBA? During just 1 second when they are on break, do you know how much money they pay to market actually for the marketing thing?
Oh, huge.
Exactly. By now you get people who go to market in their own community without paying them anything, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Super Bowl. If you think about how much it costs to do a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you so much. This was awesome. I hope that the people watching, you got something from this. I know that people will watch it later. So if you have any questions, as you can see on the screen, we have JJ's office number and email. And yeah, and I put into the chat on Facebook, I put Smart Tips, which is the video you watched at the beginning. I put our YouTube channel and the settlement platform, so you can check out more of our topics.
Yeah, and connect me with me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, everywhere.
Just everywhere. We can help you start your business, any kind of business you want. Yeah, so thank you, JJ, and thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you later.
Thank you very much, Becca. Bye now.